So we're going back, but we're going back for one purpose only, which is really to spend time with the dealer base.
What is your role with Fender at NAMM? Like, what do you think is the most valuable use of your time at the event? Okay, Fender is going back to NAMM in 2025. You made some points earlier in an interview that you said you would really have to see the value of going back to NAMM. You guys started doing a lot of stuff digitally. What was it that convinced you guys to go back to NAMM in 2025?
I think we really missed the personal interaction with the dealer base. That, I think, is the single biggest thing. So even though we're going back, what I felt had happened at NAMM, which is what had happened in my two previous lives at Nike and at Disney, is that trade shows take on a life of their own, and then it becomes like booth wars. My booth has to be bigger than your booth. And you end up spending tons of money for a very short period of time. And so we were kind of thinking about, is this the right way to go forward before COVID hit? And then COVID, we were compelled to do something differently. And what we found during COVID, when we did the online events, we were able to do them at much less cost, but reach deeper into the organization. But we missed that personal interaction. So we're going back, but we're going back for one purpose only, which is really to spend time with the dealer base and converse with them, to listen to what's on their mind, and for us to communicate to them where we would like to take the industry and take the brand. We're still going to keep the online dealer events. And what we'll do is this spring will be in person, and then the fall will be online. So we'll have a blend of both. But we really missed the in-person interaction.
How do you keep the focus of it on those dealer relationships? Because I feel like at NAMM a million things happen and it's so busy. Is it done by just scheduling meetings and making sure everyone has their time very blocked off? Is that how you do it, or how do you accomplish that?
Well, pre-COVID, we had this beautiful, big, expensive booth.
It was my favorite booth to stop by.
It was everybody's favorite booth for the 2.5 days that people actually came through it. And but then we had this massive, what we call the closing room, which is where all of the sales guys would interact with all of the dealers that came in. I mean, we wrote a lot of business there. But again, I think even the writing of the business was less important than the actual interaction with the dealer base. So this time around, it's just the closing room. It's just, there'll be a few gatherings where we want to talk about where we're going to go directionally for our acoustic segment. We'll gather a small group of dealers for that. But generally speaking, no big, glitzy booth, because as I say, I think that's not where we want to go in the future.
Okay, fair enough. I'll miss it, though. I'll miss seeing all the custom shop guitars on the wall. And
oh, well, hold that thought. We will still have a custom shop event.
Okay.
Because that event was really important for two reasons. I mean, again, one, it was as much a social event as it was an actual sales event. So we're going to keep that. And it's a great opportunity for dealers for all different parts of the U.S. and the world to kind of interact with each other, break a little bread, have a glass of wine. And
what is your role with Fender at NAMM? Like, what do you think is the most valuable use of your time at the event?
That's an interesting question. Increasingly it's more about really listening to what's on the mind of I think largely independent dealers, because Guitar Center's just across the way here. I was at Sweetwater 2 or 3 weeks ago. Again, one of the things about NAMM was always you would spend, your largest account, you would spend an hour with them. At some point, it's actually, I spend ample time with the larger accounts face-to-face in their offices. I think it's good to really spend more time with the independent dealers to get a feel for what that larger community of dealers, because in the US, that network of dealers still contribute more than 50% of our revenues. In Europe, it's more than 75% of our revenues. So that community is really, really important to us.